Hello YouTube. We're watching a POV here of Frozen. He was announced as HLTV's number 17th player of the year of 2022. Falling behind, Spinks was 18, Yuri 19, James 20, Frozen. Pretty much, I'd say the vast majority of people expected him to be in the top 20 this year. Here we're watching a little POV of him against Imperial. This wasn't a real high stakes tourney. It was, I think it was a Roulette Cup that he played in here, but he had a solid performance against Imperial. Solid team on Inferno. Imperial actually looking to make some roster moves here early in 2023. I'm going to be making a video about that shortly as well, but on to Frozen. This guy's been at MOUZ for a while now. Just a really solid performer. Kind of survived all of the roster changes with the MOUZ NXT core coming through. The MOUZ Academy squad kind of taking up most of this MOUZ squad now with 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒, Exertion, JDC getting elevated from the Academy team. 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, the Academy coach of MOUZ, elevated to the main squad as well. So now they just have the IGL Dexter, who's been around the scene for a while. And Frozen, who's kind of surprisingly a veteran of this MOUZ squad. Kind of feels like he's still a rook in some ways. But yeah, 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, the MOUZ coach, kind of made a post about getting Exertion in as a more aggressive player for LEAVE MOUZ. Will enable Frozen to kind of have all the roles he wants, kind of more of these like lurk heavy roles, kind of put that experience to play. A lot of teams I see have like the entry fraggers just seem to be getting like younger on these squads. One really young entry fragger I like now is Donk out of Spirit Academy. That kid's 15 years old, but he is killing it. Like 1.2 rating, first one in. Kind of tier 2, tier 3 EUCS, but I expect big things from that kid coming forward. But Frozen has just been a solid player with MOUZ for a while. If ropz would have stayed, I guess ropz joined FaZe at the very beginning of 2022. Feels like ropz was with FaZe forever. We're gonna get to see some banana lockdown action here. Man, that duo of just... But I guess Frozen and ropz kind of taking up somewhat similar roles in their squads now. Kind of more lurk riflers, kind of more closer type roles. So perhaps better for the best that they were separated. MOUZ kind of surprisingly making a deep run in the Rio Major. Squad's looking pretty solid with the addition of these MOUZ Academy players. Yeah, the MOUZ Academy called MOUZ NXT, MOUZ Next. They were tearing up the WePlay scene for a while, just kind of winning everything. It's like Frozen hasn't done that much this game, but he definitely heats up. He has a pretty nice stat line at the end of this game. How would you guys rate Frozen? Feel free to post in the comments below. Would you put him above 17, below? I mean, his stats are pretty solid all year. Even when his team kind of floundered a bit, he did well. I think that was part of the reason they mentioned why he's in the top 20. Is his floor is really high on all 7 maps in the pool. I think maybe one of the highest out of the top 20, where it doesn't really matter what map he's playing. He just puts up a pretty solid performance regardless. It's a player that can adapt to a lot of different maps, a lot of different roles, a lot of different new players coming in and out of his squad, still maintaining a solid form. We've seen how kind of changes in squads can definitely impact players like Bit, for example, on Na'Vi when they lost Bloomage. That put a real damper on his just performance in general. Kind of being forced into a banana player on Inferno, taking over that Bloomage role of aggressive banana control. Big Boom kind of made it look easy. Just a couple different maps, but just hasn't looked quite as comfortable at the end of 2022, last year at this point. This MOUZ squad coming into 2023, though, they got to be feeling good about their roster. I mean, the only kind of question marks on this team, well, when JDC was kind of first came to the squad and they took out NBK, that was pretty very surprising. A lot of people really didn't think JDC quite earned his spot yet on the main roster at that point. He's kind of come into his own. JDC's had some really impressive events, so 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿's the one that's been kind of struggling a little bit more the later half of 2022. Some people are trying to make the argument that MOUZ potentially needs a new opper, but I don't know. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿's still a young opper. I think he's a solid player. I put 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 kind of in the same boat as like OC from Team Liquid. Like, at least give them through the end of the Paris Major, kind of see how that shakes out in the next like 5 months, another season, see how the squad does. And if not 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, then let's see Dexter potentially being on the chopping block. People have for a while been saying like oppers don't really thrive under Dexter. Like, seems like that has been somewhat of a trend where oppers not really posting their best ratings on MOUZ under his leadership. But I don't know. I think good seasoned IGLs like Dexter are pretty hard to come by. Making a change may not be the move. Kind of, but I'd say Dexter's spot's even probably more secure than like Apex's spot on Vitality. Just because, you know, Vitality, that squad has such high expectations, just such a heavy investment. Frozen definitely taking some of the more aggressive angles on banana here. Looks like MOUZ starting 3B a lot as well. Just kind of identifying that Imperial are fans of this banana area. Is that Fallen maybe unable to connect? Or is he sniping him down, the young gunner, against one of the goats? Man, just a change up in the game where they let people throw utility. See a lot of cool stuff out of it, honestly. Probably end up being one of the change. It felt really kind of silly at the time, but I feel like it's aged well. You guys think any new mechanics will be added next year? Being able to resell guns after you buy them in the first couple seconds. I don't think they'll add that. Maybe the option to buy, you know, A4 or A1S still feels doubtful. Or maybe they'll just add an actual keybind, the unbind silencer. See a lot of pros even sometimes accidentally take off the silencer on like their USP or their A1S because sensitive right click buttons, and no real easy way to unbind it natively. There are ways to do it, but they're all kind of clunky. It's not really a problem I have personally, but I use like the Zowie EC2. It's like a wired mouse. Using a wired mouse in 2023. Lol. I think maybe it's just being heavier, not quite as easy to press the right click. I think when I used the super light for a little bit, may have done it accidentally a few times, just taking off the silencer with the right click. But not so much these days. MOUZ, though, in the last several years, it feels like their CSGO division kind of consistently makes good moves. Despite them not really winning anything crazy, like, they're not also spending, like, the highest. Their move to pick up Exertion over 𝐵 later in the year was kind of heavily scrutinized, and then the interview with 𝐂𝐒𝐒 came out. People are like, oh, you just made it worse, man, because they made 𝐵 play like the RMR qualifier, but then he couldn't play at the major itself. But kind of turned out to be the smart play. I mean, Exertion has just looked insane. The young Israeli rifler is just a demon on the server. Then you pair him with someone who's as solid and consistent as Frozen. Yeah, in this VOD, they still have 𝐵. Here, his team just rolls him down. Isn't that a great feeling when you're just playing a competitive CS game and you just see your team start to just mow down the squad? Especially if you're really trying to get that dub, you're like, oh, hell yeah. Feeling that comfy. Oh, this is when FNX was with Imperial too. I think this was around like the middle of 2022. FNX now the coach of Imperial. Like, I think they're gonna change up the coach in the new year, and I think FNX probably just gonna do kind of some content creation, kind of be a streamer. FNX is cool, but I don't really see him, you know, being the same style of coach as like Blade on Navi, kind of whipping up loads and loads of documents. I think people say kind of, well, Fallen's been playing CS forever, you know. It's kind of hard to like be a coach for that squad where you have like the IGL who's also like so highly revered in the Brazilian scene. I feel like it has to get to your head a little bit. Oof. It's a nice triple from Frozen there. Kind of a cleanup crew, but still making it look easy there. The Karambit Tiger Tooth with the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒 gloves, I mean, I would give the combo like a 7 out of 10, like maybe 6 out of 10. Doesn't, to me, I feel like doesn't really match that great. Green gloves, yellow 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒. Hey, you know, if you can smurf on Imperial on their map pick of Inferno, you know, choose whatever the hell loadout you want. As we see here, Frozen does play with black bars. Watch 𝐁𝐒𝐒, and 𝐁𝐒𝐒 plays with black bars as well. I don't think I've ever tried it. To me, it's like, I mean, with how wide my monitor is, it honestly looks like kind of nice. Like, you don't really have to focus like on as much screen space. Part of it just feels kind of, if you're gonna be playing this game 10 hours a day though, I feel like playing with black bars, it's like kind of tacky though. Like, it just doesn't, aesthetically, it doesn't look like that crispy. But I also play on 4x3, so I don't know. Ultimately, it's just kind of personal preference at the end of the day. Oh, not quite able to deliver. Alright. Gets one, but it's not quite enough. I mean, Frozen thus far, it feels like he's gotten a couple nice multi-kills, like, nothing too insane. Bro, Shaggy, kind of missed your nade there. Oh, he got tagged through that. That's before that op bullet nerf. I bet if he only had 5 bullets in that op, he'd think twice before just unloading a full clip through that half wall. Oh, interesting boost here. Pretty cheeky. Do they commit to it? Oh, they have a second smoke. I was like, if the smoke expires, do they commit? Probably not. Because the guy who's boosting here just gets caught in no man's land if the smoke's expired. Guy on top would have to get like 2. No, they don't commit to it. But they're pretty much in a safe spot here anyway. Or maybe not. Oh my god, Imperial didn't plan in time. You're like... 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 MOUZ put in work on the other side of the map. Surprised he hasn't found a home yet. Can't imagine he has much of a buyout. Frozen's sometimes taking the more aggressive line, sometimes taking the more like supportive line. I feel like he's a very like versatile player. Kind of a good way to describe him. Preparing for that late banana pop. Down 4v5. A lot of times you will see teams go for this banana hit, playing anti-flash here. I feel like he's good for 2. And he is. I can see the future. He'll just play this like off angle a lot of the time. Couple flub nades from him in JDC, but ultimately they've seemed like a pretty solid tag team in this banana area. Honestly, looks like Imperial just gave them like a shit ton of respect on banana. Like, not a lot of fights that Imperial was taking. It's like, oh, Frozen plays B. I don't know about that, Chief. Let's just send it A. Slightly messy there, but not the easiest to hit someone with a pistol just jiggling the wall. gonna go for the A stack. Interesting. Wonder whose call was that. Probably Dexter. Get your asses over here. Ooh, and gets the spray down. So yeah, this was after the A1S bullet nerf, but Imperial still had F and X. For some reason, I feel like him getting like benched, moved to that coach role for 𝐂𝐒𝐒 happened like much before the A1S bullet magazine capacity. But I suppose not. There, Mouse just making the Brazilian defense look like Swiss cheese. I didn't even know the Galil had a caution skin. I see it, the Bulldozer MP9 caution gloves. I feel like I never see the skin. Maybe because it's kind of butt ugly. That's cool though, it's cool. Oof. Nice clear from Frozen. Cracking open the bomb site. Well, not much going down here. Just the lone player of Imperial saving a little armor, a little something something. Thus far, Frozen's just kind of made it look easy. Made it look easy on this map of Inferno. Oh, threw an artillery strike there. That was a lot of heat grenades coming down from that T side. Some very slow moving rounds here, showing sometimes, you know, top tier pro CS, sometimes things just slow down. You gotta be patient. It's not always bam, 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 bam. You had to make sure they weren't getting pounded from behind on that banana area. Oh, you got sprayed through the smoke. On 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿. His team's still converted though. Yeah, as you see, his whole squad went up lane. He kind of likes to take that lurk role, trying to do some sneaky maneuvers through that arch smoke with no sauce. The legend falling, spraying him down there. Frozen taking a little friendly fire, but nothing he can't handle. Oh, what a shot. Through the wall too? That was sick. He's got some dirty entries on Banana here, looking like the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒𝐒. And Imperial's a pretty solid Inferno squad, and MOUZ just putting the hurt on them like this. Imperial's like, oh man, we gotta make a roster change. FNX, I'm sorry, you're a legend, but we had to swap things up. Maybe MOUZ was the catalyst. Frozen, just one of those bad men, just destroying CS dreams. They're not gonna close it out quite that clean. Got a little cocky. Down to 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒. As Brazilians would say, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒. Oh, yeah. Dexter kissing the wall. You're trying to get a little smooch action. Is that how they do it in the land down under? I always wonder what the deal is like spraying in tournaments, like what the rules are, if it's just like gentlemen's agreements. Like sometimes you'll see a team like spray something like the overpass, you know, the sign for like male and female on the restroom. Like a lot of lineups are used that way. I think Astralis like sprayed on the sign, and the other team like to like fuck up the other team's lineups. Like there are certain spots where you can spray where it kind of messes with like the other teams. Like, hey, is that a person? Is that a spray? But I've in these VODs, I've really just seen kind of players kind of spray stuff that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect anything. It's just a very subjective thing. Not quite sure what the rules are regarding that. If it's tournament by tournament basis, or it's like kind of a gentleman's agreement between the players not to do anything tricky with the sprays for delivering that kill. Or right now kind of rumored to be retiring. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 potentially coming into that Imperial project. A lot of people were like, oh, why not replace Bolts if you're gonna replace someone on Imperial? Well, for 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, 𝐂𝐈𝐓𝐇 𝐈𝐍𝐿, but previously not an 𝐈𝐓𝐿, just solid Brazilian rifler, kind of like 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿. Could be kind of the key piece. I mean, Fur is so solid, I think, but they had to kind of, I think he wanted to retire like 6 months prior, but they really wanted to keep him, so they kind of made a lot of adjustments. But I think for kind of coming into the new year, he's, you know, he's done pretty much everything he needed. He's got nothing to prove in the game. Fur's also a legend, the Fur monster. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 finally getting that opening MOUZ need. Will that help them close out this game against Imperial? I know Imperial's sponsored by like Fallen's own clothing brand, like Fallen Wear or something. I wonder how dripped out the clothes are. If they are indeed like funky fresh, or if they're kind of mid. What do you guys think, chat? When you buy clothes from a CS player, feel free to buy my clothes. FishTheHusky.com. Buy yours today. Frozen delivering crispy shot, cracking open the skull of bolts. Will this be what they need to close out this game? Inferno is not an easy map to retake these bomb sites. Do or die 3v3 situation. Rosen, is this how he earned his top 20 spot? Does he do something magical, or does he just do what his team needs? Nice patient play, not over peaking, not over swinging, just, you know, the presence of a veteran. And that's ultimately what MOUZ need out of Frozen. He's really been delivering for them. 2022, it made sense. He made it to the top 20. They can win some big events next year. I could see him getting in the top 10. Thank you so much for watching my video. A lot more pro player POVs on the way, a lot more cool stuff. I stream on Twitch all the time once Pro CS comes back up, so feel free to check that out. Links in the description. Appreciate the likes, comments, subscribes. Y'all take it easy. Hope you have a great rest of your day and or night.